Hello everyone, my name is, well you really don't care what my name is, and today I'm going to tell you a story of a famous horror movie killer, who 44 years ago made his debut with his first ever movie, which was directed by legendary director John Carpenter, who you may remember him directing such classics like The Fog, Escape from New York, The Thing, Christine, Big Trouble in Little China, and so much more. This movie he directed, though, would go on to become one of the greatest and scariest horror movies of all time, which would also give birth to one of our famous horror movie killers, Michael Myers and Halloween. But because the movie was a success, Hollywood demanded a sequel to the movie, and they got it with Halloween 2. Then, because the two films did well, they decided to make a spin-off movie that had nothing to do with Michael Myers, had nothing to do with the events of Halloween 1 and 2, just had no connection to the first two films. And it was called Halloween 3: Season of the Witch. And even though it was fine, it didn't do well enough for the fans of Halloween. So because of that, Hollywood decided to bring our good old friend Michael back. And they did. They brought him back for the fourth Halloween movie, The Return of Michael Myers, which was fine. Not as good as the first one, but it was still fine. But then a year later, they gave us Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers, which was shit. Pretty much shit. And then they gave us The Curse of Michael Myers, which was even more shit. So they decided to make Halloween H2O. 20 years later, it is the sequel to the first movie, which made the other films non-canon. And then after that film did alright, they decided to make Halloween Resurrection, which did not do well, so they decided to make a remake. 2 films directed by Rob Zombie, who directed them both. Yes, the same guy who gave us 2 very good scary movies, and then gave us 2 shitty as hell Halloween movies. So they once again rebooted the whole series again for the second time and gave us the 3 Halloween films, which are now sequels, real direct sequels of the 1978 film. So we got Halloween of 2018, which thankfully was a very good sequel and gave us hope that they would do this series right again. That they would give us a good Halloween sequels. But then Halloween Kills came out last year and it was fine. And then we got Halloween Ends, which was shit. Again. Why? Why was this bad? Why did they screw up something that should have been so simple? Why did they make a huge mess of this film? Well, it may have to do with the fact that the story for this film didn't have the focus be on our main horror killer star, Michael, who didn't do much of anything. Instead, the story focused on Jamie Lee Curtis' character, her granddaughter, and on a new character who had no appearances in the last 2 films, but somehow became the main focus point of the story. Which, now that I think about it, with the way the story went, it made it feel like this plot had 2 different stories and decided to mesh it together thinking it would work. It didn't. The first 2 acts were very slow, not a lot of scary stuff happened, and when something did happen with Michael, who was basically the side plot, it was short. We didn't get to be with him for much longer. We had to focus on the main story with Jamie Lee Curtis' character, her granddaughter, and this other guy who we have no idea why the focus is on him, but he is. And when we finally get to the 2 final acts, it wasn't worth the wait. And despite having a great cast in this movie, you didn't come to focus the whole story on all of them. You wanted the focus to be on your star, on Michael Myers. You want to see them going up against him and finally putting him down once and for all. Instead, he is just the background, he's doing nothing, and all these other characters, despite some of them getting some time on screen, you still wanted them to go up against Michael. You still wanted them to be, be filled with so much rage and so much anger that they didn't put Michael down, that they finally put him down once and for all. That should have been the focus. But it isn't, because he's not the main focus on the story. It's his other character, who again, no appearances in the other two films or even focus whatsoever. So, yeah, despite having some cool kills and some creepy moments, it wasn't as scary, suspenseful, or intense as the 2008 film. It was just meh. So basically, they pulled the same crap that happened with the Star Wars sequels, where it started off promisingly well, they gave us a not so good second film, and then ended the third film angering the fans rather than pleasing them. So much like the Star Wars sequels, the Halloween sequels ended the same way, starting off well and then ending up disappointing as all. And that, folks, is the end of the Halloween series, and the end of our dear friend Michael Myers, whose movie career is over. But don't feel sad about Michael, because even though the movie series didn't go well, and the Halloween movie ended with a poof, then an explosive finale, we can still go back and watch the first movie and be filled with so much joy once again when we see Michael doing what he does best. Now, if you still wish to see this movie, then you may, but just remember, if you end up getting disappointed with how this film ends, do not fret. You can still go back and enjoy the original and enjoy the film like the rest of us. Well, that's it, everyone. Please subscribe and support my channel, and please subscribe and support T3 Media's channel as well. Please keep up to date with our Twitter accounts as well, what's going on, and I'll see you all next time to give you more love and more entertainment. Until then, be safe, take care, and have a good day.